and welcome to the Old Hombre podcast with your host, Mense and
Andrew. Good evening, everybody.
This is your podcast based on business analysis, work life, and the beyond, which we call retirement, not death, right?
Yeah.
So, this is episode 13, Andrew. Can you believe
13.
it?
Yep,
I think that
know.
merits a good old-fashioned cheer.
Well, every week we deserve a cheer because, we haven't been cancelled.
We ain't been cancelled. Somehow our episodes have made it through the line, even with the odd swear word here and there.
Yeah.
So we're very grateful that we ain't been blocked, but it's only a matter of time.
And people are watching.
And people are watching. So thank you so much for following us and keeping your finger on the pulse of what we're covering. This is going to be a very interesting episode. It's going to all be about the airline industry.
Yeah.
So I can't help it, but we have to sing it, right? Come fly with us. Let's fly away. Hopefully we don't get copyright infringement for that one little song.
Well, I don't think he'd want to be associated with that, to be honest with you, Mince.
Yeah, I agree, mate. I agree. But this is the headline that has been dominating a lot of the US press and the business segments last week and early this week. Spirit Airlines files for bankruptcy and it's lost $2.2 billion in the last 5 years.
Wow.
Right? So Andrew, they were in such bad shape that they were trying to go for a merger with JetBlue in January and it got blocked by a federal judge. And I've been watching a few podcasts, US podcasts around the subject, and some of the sentiment and it is surely that merger is a better outcome than a Chapter 11, the Chapter 11 bankruptcy filing that JetBlue has come into place, and all the potential disruption with customers, the potential job losses if this last kind of wave of effort that they're going to do to keep the company running doesn't work. Why did you block this? They filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, and they are going to get a cash injection to help them keep them afloat. And Ted Christie, the man of the hour, the CEO, has said,
Mr. Christie.
A strong vote of confidence in Spirit and our long-term plan has been presented apparently. That's going to be interesting. And it's got a total debt of $9 billion. Mate.
The reason this is how much?
$9 billion debt.
Wow, bloody hell!
It's a lot.
I mean,
man.
the reason this is important, you might think, so what? It's an American budget airline, but you know what? It as we was going to talk about, it's a trend around airlines, and it seems to be. I don't know about you, Mincy, but every year when they release figures, etc., the budget airlines in the UK are all moaning, groaning. There's something wrong there. I don't know what it is.
As far as I can remember, Andrew, all I'm hearing is this airline is in crisis.
Yeah.
BA is in crisis for this and that. The Boeing, the company is in trouble. I know it's a bit different, but still it has to do with the planes. It just seems, Andrew, like the reason why I think this topic is so important for us to at least educate ourselves on is we've all had direct experience with flying, and we always will, I believe, right? And the other thing is, it seems to be one of those businesses that are so critical to national infrastructure. I mean, imagine having no airlines, Andrew, like paralysis, right? So it's obviously kind of like one of the main infrastructures that a country needs. Yeah. So I guess the question that I'm really trying to get to the bottom of with this whole episode and just trying to understand the airline industry, and I'm sure we're not going to cover this in a 1 hour and a half session, we never do, but it might be the beginning of it, is are airlines actually the profitable businesses that you want to invest in, or are they essentially charities? Because they seem to always be getting bailed out. It seems like cash flow and margins and all of that type of stuff seems to be such a struggle, and we all need them. So it's like, are they good businesses, or are they just nationalized businesses that are doomed to just fail and fail and fail, but we'll just continue keeping them alive because we need them?
I think there's something romantic about airlines as well. When we look at, the British airline, the Virgin Airlines, he was like the hero, wasn't he? Because he was
It's so
there. And
important. It's an
yeah,
important
yeah,
industry, man. So
yeah,
yeah, this is gonna be a fun one and hopefully an
yeah,
educational journey, right? But in good fashion,
yeah.
let's start off with something light.
What do you think I am, mate? Some sort of Wolly.
Not necessarily Wolly of the week, but definitely something funny, I would say. And let's start within the theme of since we're in the spirit of discussing the airline
Oh, it's
industry.
airline related.
Yeah, exactly. It's airline related, Andrew, right? So this is for those that may be watching from America, I doubt it, right, or any other country. This is a sitcom. Was it a skit show? But here in England, and it was all based on airports and whatnot, yeah. And I just thought it was a bit of fun, right, to start off with this, right. So these are some of the jobs that could potentially run in an airport. Sorry, I'm already laughing, mate. Right, let's get this.
I've just remembered it. Which one it is?
Right. Okay, cool. So let's start off with this. I'm not even sharing the screen. Cool. Let's go to analyze. Oh my god, I wonder if I was sharing the last screen.
Ooh. Yeah, I've seen the screen.
No. Well, anyway, it doesn't matter. I can always edit it. Right. So let's get to this. Oh.
For 5 years.
When I originally applied for this post, I was turned down, but it went to an industrial tribunal and I was given the job. But the airline now does have to employ someone to wheel me.
So basically, yeah, she's a wheelchair user because I don't know how to think, right? And she's been working for the airline for 5 years.
Yeah.
And she went through a tribunal so she could keep her job to be a wheelchair...
assistant. Basically, assistant flyer.
Yeah. Right.
And that person is
so
Bob.
her job is to push people in wheelchairs around.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
I am Bob.
So she needs an assistant to push her around, right? And now she's got Bob, right?
Some people have suggested that I shouldn't have this job. But I say that those people are just being racist against disabled.
1 week later, right?
Over at Special Services, Corin's helper, Bob, has hurt his back. Corin has worked...
I think that's brilliant, mate. If you know what, yeah, if they're running costs like this, there's no wonder. But I doubt it. But I thought it was a bit of fun, Andrew. I know.
It's one of my favourite all-time sketches.
There is no way that this comedy show would run today. Honestly, guys, when I went through so many of these clips. It's called "Come Fly with Me" by David Williams and what's the other guy, mate?
I can't remember his name now.
Oh Lord. Anyway, David Williams and it misses me. But anyway, "Come Fly with Me," and it's honestly. The stuff is so controversial in it that this was the safest option I could possibly find, and even this I think is pushing the envelope, right? But anyway, so that's that. Okay, so if we go into actually Spirit Airlines, before we go into Spirit Airlines, I thought Andrew, thank you so much. You've prepared quite a bit of content today, right? We're gonna go into a time capsule, right? It's capsule, right? And we're going to explore what the airline industry used to look like, right? So this is a video from 1968. And I've got my thoughts, but I want to hear yours, Andrew. Before I press play, talk to me.
Right. Yeah. So, it's 1986. For me, it's the change in the formality. The formality disappeared. You used to go on an airplane in a suit and tie,
My mum used to make me wear a whole suit and a tie to go to Colombia and iron it the night before for a 13-hour flight. You can imagine what I looked like when I got there, yeah? And on top of that as well, guys, you need to understand, yeah, we're Colombians, and this was in the 90s. So she didn't allow me to wear black because apparently I looked like a gangster. I wasn't allowed to wear any gold or anything, no shades, because apparently it made us look like cocaine traffickers. So I'm talking about the paranoia was next levels. But anyway, let me let go of that. This is not what this episode's about. But yeah, you're absolutely right, Andrew.
So, and this is a really good example of how things have changed, both from a travel and formality point, but also, the money and the creativity in just something simple like the security instructions.
Absolutely.
I don't know if that's coming later or if you.
All right, it will come. It will come.
It.
Let's fire this up, right, and see how it goes. Yeah? First of all, I love the intro. It's you know what this is reminding me? It's taking me back to that video that we shared a few episodes back around Jose's story, the onboard, the McDonald's. I love this. We need to bring this back here. You know what I'm saying? Jaguar, take a leaf out of this book here. Let's create something retro, right? So let's press play on this. Wonderful, wonderful. I mean, that music's already taking you on a journey, isn't it?
Absolutely.
It's already. I'm already excited. Yeah. So this is a safety video, right? Right. So skip to a little bit. Let's look at the demeanor here. Yeah. All right.
Hello and welcome aboard. As we prepare for departure, we ask that you pay close attention to the following important information about this A310 airplane. Your seatbelt should be fastened whenever the fasten seatbelt sign is illuminated. To fasten your seatbelt, insert.
Look at that attire, Andrew.
Look, I know.
You've got the pearls. You've got the love.
Tie.
I mean, honestly, this is the stuff of dreams. This is what flying was all about, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No one in tracksuits, whatever. Andrew, look at the space.
I know.
Maybe it's just like this, but I don't know. Sign up. Look at that, mate. Look at that. It's brilliant. But mate, it gets.
And I don't know if you can see it, but I'm sure that's an ashtray in the armrest there.
Mate, well, we're gonna get to that. Insert
the metal tip into the buckle until you hear a click. To change the length of the belt, adjust the strap.
Right. So now we're gonna skip to. I put a note here. 307. Right. 307.
Please remember that smoking is permitted in your seat only when the no smoking sign.
Imagine. See, and this is a question I've always asked myself, Andrew. I know we're going a bit on a segue here, right? But how is it possible that flying for a good part of 2 decades, you're allowed to smoke, and now it's detrimental if you vape? Now don't get me wrong.
You can't eat a peanut. Forget smoking. You can't eat a peanut.
It's like we used to literally smoke fags. You used to be able to smoke fags on a bus, and this is all good. I'm not a fan of secondhand smoke or anything. I'm not saying we should go back to those days. But what gets me is now the safety precautions you have to take. Take your shoes off. Take this off. Back in the day, you could just smoke on a flight. Terrorism, man. You ruined it for us. You really ruined it for us. But anyway, let's carry on.
I remember my dad. He used to smoke at the back of the plane.
Yeah. It was always the back section, and the only air filtration system you'd have is 2 curtains. That is it, mate. Anyway, sorry, go, mate.
My mum used to go mad because he used to make us all sit at the back.
A what?
They'd be like,
everyone had to live with it, yeah.
My mum, who didn't smoke, me and I was like 7 or 8, my sister's like 5, and we're sitting there covered in smoke, but nobody cared.
It used to be like that in the discotheques as well, mate. But you know what? In discotheques, I prefer the smoking because now you just smell everyone's fart and BO. So at least, and in fact, you know what? Yeah, I would rather nowadays. I'd rather sit in the smoking section than that fart. Then all I smell is fart. Like, doesn't it just smell of fart at some point during the air? All you're smelling is just everyone's accumulated gas. Up your nostril. I'd rather just smell smoke.
At least the smoking used to cover it up.
But anyway, let's have a look at this.
And is turned off in flight. We suggest that you take a few moments to review the safety information card, which is located in the seat pocket in front of you. This A310 airplane is equipped with numerous features for your...
Look at that space.
Wow, 2 across, Spencer.
2 across.
Look at that suit.
When it's 2 across, you would be speaking to Mr. Jow over here, right? And you'd be building friendships. You'll be building. You got Jose here, and you got Jow, Mr. Lau, You'll be building friendships too. By the end of that airline, we're all happy clappy. It's good.
Your comfort and convenience. The control to recline your seat is located in your armrest. Your flight attendant call button, reading light,
beautiful,
and fresh air outlet are located directly above each seat. An ashtray is found in the armrest.
Wonderful.
There you go.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Magazine racks are conveniently located throughout the airplane.
Look at that magazine rack. Time magazine, mate. Now, all you get is a pamphlet with what you can buy. An £11.50 sandwich.
Exactly.
Right? A pot noodle for £6.50. That's what you're getting on the flight. But thank you for sharing this. I actually really, I watched this from the beginning to end, but I don't want to bore our audience, right? But genuinely, that was a great blast from the past.
It goes back to flying was it was an event.
Absolutely.
And it was expensive, Mincy. So you didn't do it that often, if you did it at all, etc. And like you said, you got dressed up for it because it was part of that holiday. Yeah, and you know, it's changed a lot now because it's worse than getting on a bus. But yeah, and as you mentioned,
What do you think,
there's a
guys,
lot.
mate?
Right.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah. Go on, mate. Go on.
So
This is the
now,
bit
sorry for cutting you there. It was an accident thing. So now we're gonna go to Air New Zealand. Yeah, the most epic safety flight video ever. I've got comments about this, but I want to get your take. I don't. Yeah. All right. Let's get this over the line, right?
Yeah.
So this is just to juxtapose how far we've gone.
This is a safety video. This is basically what we just saw. Put your seatbelt on. The exits are over here, and that's it, right?
So I've got I've got 3 bullet points.
Okay.
Based on my thoughts on this, but I want to get yours before I say mine.
Hey!
Okay, so they're rushing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So now they've made it to the plane.
Yep.
So they're now in like the Shire or whatever it is from Lord of the Rings,
but it's
right?
the one thing that New Zealand's claimed fame, isn't it?
So first observations, Andrew, when you saw this, what did you think?
The first thing I thought is, how the freaking much did this cost?
Okay.
And number one.
So you got
number
cost.
2, where is the safety instructions?
Okay, well, we're gonna get to that, right?
Yeah.
So this is what I wrote immediately.
Yeah.
I found it very interesting, and this is just to juxtapose to what we saw with Pan Am.
Yeah.
The first sentiment displayed was stress.
True. I didn't even get that.
The first thing, we went from, hi, welcome, sit down with your pearls and your lovely 2x2 roll thingy-my-bobby, sit down and have a conversation, have a fag. Yeah? No, but you know what I mean? Have a fag, please. Have a fag. Yeah? 2, we're gonna make it on our flight. Yeah? So that in itself, I think, was just so. I don't know if that's what you were going for, because you gave me these 2 links, but I was like, wow, what a difference in sentiment. So I'm gonna tick that one off here, and I'm gonna let the audience think, because we're really gonna cut this into bits.
Welcome to Middle Earth,
Okay, so we've got seats there, yeah?
my friend. I'm here to guide you on your journey, so cease your rebel rousing and listen very carefully and obey all crew member instructions.
Okay. So now we've got her. Sorry, we're not going to watch all this, right? Now we've got her talking about fastening your seatbelt. Now we've got a man on a horse somewhere in New Zealand. Now we got more. Now we got more. Now we got a guy in the middle of the woods, pulling down a mask. Now.
Okay.
Now we got her in. Now we got an elf in the middle of New Zealand. Now we've got a guy playing the horn of Gondor with an orc thingy. Okay. So now we can say we're about a quarter through this advert. What's the next observation that you had? Well, if any?
I don't see the correlation between people in forests and all that and air travel.
Well, I think
that's my main thing.
So I think we're both around the same elk here, yeah? This is what I wrote. Step 2. So number 1 was show stress. Step 2. Pivot away from the aeroplane as quickly as possible and show as little as possible of the plane and the aircraft that we're going to sit in. So escape the crap hole that we're going to sit in for the next 14 hours. And let's take the person who's watching away from the fact that they're sitting in this crap aeroplane is what I've got. Like you've taken us away from the airplane immediately, which kind of relates to what you're saying, which is this got nothing to do with planes.
No. The bag doesn't inflate. There's plenty.
So this proceeds.
Oh, that's fine.
Life jackets are easily put on while seated. Just reply for...
Escapism.
Maybe used at any time. Path always be guided by the light of the stars, and may the future bestow upon you all the happiness and adventure.
So the only way they could get the customer to be happy was to take them away from the journey that they're taking today. And get them thinking about the destination. That, to me, personally, Andrew, said everything about where the airline industry has gone wrong. to me.
Well,
we've gone from Pan Am experiences, premium. Like literally, the video is all about an experience on inside of the cockpit.
It's about the customer.
It's about the customer. It's about the lady with the pearls.
Yeah.
It's about the fag that you can have. It's about the lovely stewardess with the lesbian haircut. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. You know what I mean? It honestly is. A look at the smarts and everything, and then you show us with the plane taken away, and you go, yeah, I'm on a plane. Yeah. Where the other one is, we've got to get their mind away from the fact that they're on a plane.
Well, I mean, it's not. I presume it's designed to make you take note of the safety procedures. It doesn't. You know, you think, you just like, why am I looking at this? You know, I'm about to get on a plane. I'm sitting. You know, we're a family of 4. 3 of us are sitting together, and my child who's 7 is probably 10 rows behind me somewhere, right? And why am I watching this rubbish?
Yeah, I mean, this is it. But that's definitely the Wolly of the Week segment. Like all of this, I just thought, you know, it'd be interesting to start off with this. Right. So let's pivot back to so now let's pivot to a bit into the history of low-cost carriers, right? So let's go to this chap that we're seeing on the screen right now. I will share it with you in a bit, Andrew. Sir Freddie Laker. So tell us a bit about Sir Freddie Laker.
Yeah. So Freddie Laker basically was a national hero. Right. He turned up out of the blue and decided that he was going to go head to head with the likes of people like British Airways, right? And his aim was to be able to fly from London to New York. I think it was like £200 or whatever it was, something stupid. It was like a fifth of the price. But the issues that he had was there was almost a monopoly on routes, right? And, you know, he kept getting knocked back, kept getting taken to court.
Yeah, because it was all very regulated. It was all very regulated, and then they removed the regulations. And to make it more competitive.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, you've got a lot of the people, I'm not saying globally, because budget airlines were started as far back as the 1940s, and it's just been copied. And it was in America initially. But he's really the champion of affordable flights, to the common person, right? And the poor guy, he you know, in the end he went bust because it just couldn't afford the court costs, basically.
And that's the theme of this. It just seems like this is just an industry doomed thing. But I thought we'd share just a bit around his thoughts on how he actually started off, because I think it's a very powerful story, and hopefully it will inspire like some of our viewers. But yeah, let's listen to this.
Break came when a friend of mine that I'd help, and he said, "What can I do for you?" I said, "Well, nothing really." And we were having a drink in the Silver Cross in Whitehall, and he said, "Well, if you had the money, what would you do?" I said, "Well, if I had £42,000, I would buy a fleet of converted Halifax bombers and all the spare parts from British Overseas Airways." You see, and he said, "Well, how much have you got?" I said, "About 4,000. And with not a blink, nothing. He pulled out his checkbook, wrote out a cheque and handed it to me, and said, "Pay F.A. Laker £38,000.
Just like that?
Just like that. And that, of course, was the big first financial break. That was real luck. That's the little bit of luck that you need in life. You can be a genius, but you have to have a little bit of luck. And that,
I think that's amazing. I think that's, I mean, and also, just for someone to dream that big, he only had £4,000.
Yeah.
And somehow he got the funding for it, 40 grand. He didn't go and, you know, play it safe. He went and he did something really disruptive. I think this guy really merits his Sir title.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. You know, and you know what? It's funny how the British culture is, first of all, put somebody down.
Yep.
Yeah. And then when they're down, then champion them. A bit like Bruno. Remember Frank Bruno, the boxer?
Yeah, absolutely.
We used to rip into him about
and then when he went through his depression, people were making fun of him. And then now he's just a national icon, isn't he?
Yeah.
We're a cynical bunch here in the UK, innit?
This is the thing about the UK. And this guy, and I'm not crediting him with the budget airline thing, but the system that he put in place about going and buying, you know, old fleet that the others had thingied, etc. And again, he wasn't cutting back on the Pan Am experience. He was cutting back on other stuff and still being able to deliver
that amazing
Pan Am
delivery to
experience.
customers. Yeah. Well, it's a shame. I mean, he'd probably be. I don't know if he's probably gone.
I think he's just died, actually.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah,
But yeah,
not so
I'm
long
sure
ago.
he was very disappointed in the direction that things are going in nowadays. But yeah, so that's a bit of history on kind of how low budget airlines came to the UK at the very least, right?
Yeah.
So now let's pivot into Andrew. I'll always, well, not always, but a lot of the time I'll go back to two of my heroes, Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger. And I think it's important, like when it comes to these type of businesses, I always reference them because they own train lines, right? Rail companies.
Yeah.
And they've in fact, funny enough, like I think around 7 or 8 years ago, it was the first time they actually went into the airline industry. But prior to that, they had always said that they wouldn't touch airlines because of the high costs and just how much risk is attached to airlines. So here they're going to talk a bit about why the airline industry is so complex, and it's to the point, Andrew, where Charlie Munger says we put it in our too hard to own pile, as in that business is too hard for them, and these are two of the best investors of all time, right? So let's have a look at what they're saying.
The airline industry has this situation where they have very, very, very low.
The volume's really low. Can you hear it?
With enormous fixed costs.
I can hear it. Yeah,
the temptation to sell that last seat at a very low price is very high, and sometimes it can be very difficult to distinguish between the last seat and other seats.
So what he's saying is, and sorry if for the audience if they can't hear that, because it is very low. I don't understand why I put it on maximum volume. He's saying that the problem with the airline industry is that every seat, it costs a lot of money. It literally costs a lot of money. It's got a very, very minimal margin of profit, right? And the problem is, if you don't fill out the whole plane, there's this real temptation to just lower the price on the last seat. And it just continues being a counterproductive kind of exercise, right?
So it's a labor-intensive, capital-intensive, largely commodity-type business, and it's been, as Bill Miller points out in that question, it's been a death trap for investors ever since.
Yeah, so it's like low margin, high cost of running. You're talking about the engineering for the planes, the fuel costs, the cost that you're going to have on staff, the cost that you're going to have on insurance, the cost that you're going to have to actually like land the plane in the air, use the airspace, all of that type of stuff. It's just so expensive that how is this meant to grow for an investor? How is this meant to actually be a profitable venture that's going to grow your money over years to come? Very difficult.
No. I mean, even things like when they land and they don't take off in their allotted slot, they get charged by the airports. Just anything, and it could be bad weather. It could be somebody's. I mean, imagine it. You go on and somebody's forgotten to count properly, and there's too much luggage according to the people that have checked in, right? That could take. Then they'd have to go through all the luggage, double check. There you go, your slot's gone. Bang, £5,000, £10,000, whatever.
For a delay, and you think about all the delays that they have. It's just bananas. But let's listen.
It's a very. It's
like you're walking a fine line.
Volatile. It's not volatile, but it's also volatile. But it's got a lot of variations and things that
it's got a lot of variables.
Control.
Yeah, it's got a lot of variables. Yeah. Weather, passenger behavior, logistics. I mean, the list goes on, man.
It took off. I mean, as I've said, if there had been a capitalist Kitty Hawk, he should have shot down Orville and done us all a favor. But having neglected to do that, investors have poured money into airline companies and aircraft manufacturing companies now for 100 years plus with terrible results.
Man, 100 years worth of terrible results. 100 years.
And if it ever gets down to where there's one airline and there's no regulation, it will be a wonderful business. And then the question is whether, having gotten down now through a lot of
and that's the thing, it's the number of airlines as well. He's saying if there's ever just one airline, there'll be quids in, but it's just distributed amongst so many.
Well, there used to be, British Airways.
Yeah.
Right? And then you'd have one or two others, sort of local internal flights, etc. Then you'd have the logistical airways, the ones that, shipping products rather than humans and stuff like that. And that was really it. You didn't have that much. Now everyone...
Well, we're going to get into that later on. We're going to get into that later on, but it's crazy.
Bankruptcies to relatively few that are doing high percentage of the seat miles, whether it's a good business yet. I don't know the answer to, but I'm skeptical. Charlie?
Well, the last time we were presented with a similar opportunity was when the railroads did exactly what Bill Miller suggests. The railroads got down and consolidated and got better.
So this is where they talk about the railroad, because, there should be parallels there, right? It's still transportation.
Control their labor costs, and it turned into a wonderful business. And what did we do? We missed it. And we stumbled in very late to the party, right?
Right.
So we've proven ourselves to be slow learners in this field. And it's conceivable, isn't it, that Bill Miller is right in what he suggests?
Which way do you bet?
It goes into my too hard pile.
So imagine this, like you got Charlie Munger saying it's too hard. It's just too hard. And I think that's very telling, and they actually went into the airline industry, like I said, 7 years ago, and they made a loss again. Yeah. Like they left, they went in, and they went out again. So just, it goes to show just how complex this business is. So
I can't remember a time where I was watching the news and somebody went, British Airlines had a record year and blah, blah. I can't remember the time.
No, not at all. Like, I think it had a good bounce back after COVID because everything slumped and people thought that it was going to be doomed. And it started to have a bit of, from a share price point of view. I actually bought BA shares on the day of COVID and I doubled my money within a quarter, but then I kept them and I lost that money again. So I just thought, okay, that's the end of that. It was just a tiny transaction, just a bet, if you will, but nothing bigger than that. So let's talk about why Spirit is. So we're going into the deep dive section, yeah. So let's go.
I mean, well, this is what sort of prompted this whole episode. Is that we saw the headlines. I heard it on the radio, and I'll be honest with you, I thought, another airline's gone. What a surprise! That was my initial reaction.
Right, yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Like I said, it's almost like they all just falling like dominoes, right? So now I'm gonna need to just quickly find the video for you, Andrew. If you just bear me 1 second. Right. So why Spirit is the most hated airline? So we'll start off with some really kind of entry into it, right? So right, let's share this with the audience. Cool.
This is one of the most hated companies in the world. Spirit Airlines is a low-cost airline in the U.S.
So far, so good. Low-cost airline in the U.S.
Similar to Ryanair in Europe. But it's one of the...
Okay, Ryanair in Europe. Now, listen. I don't even want to tell you how I feel about Ryanair.
Mate, honestly, you know what? I could do a whole episode or two on Ryanair, on how I feel about Ryanair.
Absolutely, genuinely, Andrew. My mum used to say to me, Mense, don't fly Ryanair even if they gave it to you for free.
Yeah.
And funny enough, this year, someone purchased a Ryanair ticket for me.
Yeah.
And it was an absolute nightmare.
Yeah.
The concerns around whether your little crappy bag fits into their 2x2 little box. And I'm talking about if you're just marginally outside of the box, you're talking 90 quid, 80 quid, something, I can't remember, something like that. Each way, right? It's a nightmare. Like, honestly, I'd rather just pay the premium. And that's how I felt. But I thought it was just me being a bit...
No.
You know what I'm trying to say?
I mean, the seats, we're gonna go, plastic seats.
It's just horrendous, in my opinion. Like, honestly, I'd rather just save up and travel well, if that makes sense. But yeah, let's have a look at this.
The worst ranked in the entire country. It actually started as a trucking company and slowly worked its way into aviation. While their tickets are definitely cheap, they make you pay extra for anything else. Things like carry-on bags cost...
I mean, look how small that is, Andrew.
Yeah.
That's exactly how the Ryanair one is, mate. Well, not exactly, but very similar.
Well, where do you think Ryanair got the idea?
It's just horrendous.
He flew over to the US
to study
with Spirit Airlines
to study this, yeah.
And that's how Ryanair started.
Yeah, it's terrible, man.
It's extra, and they even make you pay to print tickets.
This is the one that jars me, Andrew.
Yeah,
mate. I've got an article here. They charged an old couple £110 to print out a paper ticket.
Yep.
Disgrace. An
And do you know what's so
absolute disgrace.
And you know, it's happened to me once on Ryanair, where the app, I usually download the app and then you got your boarding pass.
Yeah,
right?
it froze or something.
I'm sorry for this trip. The app is not available. Go to the desk for a physical thing. Went to the desk and they tried to charge me.
Incredible.
I kicked off. 30 quid they tried to charge me for a ticket.
Incredible. For a
boarding pass, sorry.
For a printout.
Yeah.
For a printout.
Disgusting.
It's disgusting, man.
Yeah.
It's this like imagine the type of resentment that harbors with and that compounds, and that's why we're in the situation we're in with this. But we'll carry on.
At the airport. At one point, they actually got rid of their toll-free customer service number, making...
That's my next one. Mate, I didn't buy it. A company got me to buy a ticket with Wizz Airlines. Wizz Airlines, right?
Yeah.
And there was an issue with airspace.
Yep.
And Andrew?
Yep.
In the airport, the experience, I couldn't go to the help desk.
Right.
We had to speak to a lady around the corner.
Right.
And we were all bundled up. And the only thing the lady did was give us a helpline. To which when we called the helpline, they were like,
yeah, can't be any help.
Sorry, I'm so sorry for your inconvenience. There was nothing warm about it. It was just cold as hell, right?
The thing is, it happens so often that they become numb to it.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you. And I think I used another service called Kayak or something like that, like a third party.
Yeah, to purchase the airline.
No customer, as in there is no number. You have to go via the bot.
Yeah.
I hate this. I really do. I really do. It's just I don't care
but
how.
Before I mean, I know I don't want to jump the gun, but can you see the massive disparity or difference between our first video and what we're watching now?
We really are doing this, aren't we? Yeah, right.
Landline customers pay to call them. If you want to see companies hated more than them, make sure you're following me. This is
So yeah, I mean, this is where it kind of all starts, right? So this is kind of the intro. But then let's go into a bit around again going back to the the contrast of the Pan Am airline experience and all that type of stuff. Yeah, let's see how they do. Let's see one of the kind of let's see how far we've gone in terms of premium service.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's see who is paying attention. Go ahead and point to where that oxygen mask is going to come from. That's awesome.
So now we're doing quizzes.
Yeah.
Point towards
and
where
it's not hilarious. I think it's
I think, hey mate, you know what? Do your job. Do your job, because you know what? You've skimped on everything else now.
Yeah.
3 of you are going to get oxygen. That's great. That's perfect. The rest of you, when you're done screaming, okay, I need you to let go of your neighbor and grab that mask. You're going to breathe normally.
Say that on a plane?
Breathing in an emergency. Who writes this stuff? You're going to breathe as normally as you possibly can. They want you to assist yourself first and then a child traveling with you. Ladies, listen to me. A child traveling with you. They come in many different shapes and sizes.
I've heard enough of this, mate.
Yeah.
But this is another Wolly one, and maybe I'm losing my humor.
What a contrast!
Maybe I'm losing my humor. Maybe I'm losing my humor, right? But the way I see it is, I've just paid £110 for me and my missus to print out a ticket.
Yeah.
I've just been charged 90 quid for an upsell because my backpack doesn't fit the perfect dimensions of your thing, even though it makes no difference to the flight whatsoever.
No.
I've come in here and I'm listening to this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not happy, bro. I'm not happy at all. I'm just letting you know. I'm not happy in the slightest. There's nothing about this is funny to me. So yeah, let's see what actually happened in terms of them going wrong, right? So got this video from the Wall Street Journal where we start talking about why the stock has been spiraling down and exactly what's been going wrong, right? And then we'll delve into a couple of articles and a couple of figures around this problem.
$5 for a boarding pass, $30 for checked luggage, $3.
$5 for, well, at least it's only $5, which fair enough. Let's just slow this down.
But why? You shouldn't have to pay your boarding pass. It's part of their process.
It's mad.
$5 for a boarding pass, $30 for checked luggage, $3 for water, $1 for animal crackers. Spirit Airlines charged for...
The animal crackers is okay. I ain't gonna lie to you. I think it was a bit of a stretch there. I'm all right with paying $1 for I'm fine with the water for $3. I'm fine with the animal crackers. What I'm not fine with is that $5 fee, right, for printing a ticket.
Yeah.
I think it's for their use, not mine.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
It's crazy. Surely I should just be able to present my passport, my name's on the system, get that over the line. Don't come with that crap. It's just an extra step for absolutely no reason. Don't try it.
Basically everything, allowing it to sell tickets at rock bottom prices. The only complimentary item on the plane? Ice.
Spirit bet.
Ice. Wow.
There were a lot of customers that regular airlines were kind of leaving on the table because they just can't afford the cost of a ticket.
They didn't give us any peanuts or anything, but it's okay.
And even at those low prices, Spirit bet can make a lot of money.
From 2008 through 2012, Spirit earned $289 million, with just 40 planes at most in operation.
That's all right,
Yeah.
That's all right. I'm not going to lie to you. This is informative.
2 U.S. airlines earned more in the period, Southwest and Alaska Air, which both had far more planes. And 3 years after going public, Spirit was the most profitable, fastest growing U.S. airline.
Yep.
Stock prices hit an all-time high. But
these are the glory days, right?
Yep.
Its profits were reaching new heights. Cracks in its business were starting to show. In 2011, Spirit was also the airline with the most complaints.
From a customer perspective,
Oh, of course you got into with those type of things. Because the thing is, if you're charging me all of that, if you're charging me all of those add-ons, Jesus Christ, Andrew, this flight best be perfect. No, it best make up in all. I don't want any delays. I want great communication. I want great customer service, and I want everything to be smooth as a nut. If you're gonna upsell me to that level, that's what I think.
Mincy, they upsold me priority boarding. I sat there.
Don't get me started on priority boarding. Priority boarding is just you on a queue.
Yeah.
You go in, and then you got the same other people. There's nothing priority about
Everybody, they sell it to everyone. They don't say, right, there's only 10 priority boarding places. All they've done is move the queue from row A to row B. I remember getting up, and it said priority boarding. I get up, and the whole place stood up.
It's mad.
Yeah.
It's mad.
And there's actually a comic thing, sketch about that as well. But yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's just... I feel it is just how can we fleece these idiots more?
Yeah.
How can we fleece them? They have somehow been brainwashed by the word budget airline, right? And now let's see how we can fleece them. That's what it is.
It should be their strapline should be budget airlines where cheap is expensive.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It didn't necessarily have the best reputation, and at the time, their CEO was kind of like...
And no one goes into McDonald's and is surprised they don't see filet mignon on the menu, right?
Even still, Spirit execs said they were optimistic. The company had pioneered a new airline business model in the U.S., and for the first 5 years, it had been successful. But other companies had been watching. As soon as fuel prices dipped in 2015, carriers slashed prices on some tickets, cutting into Spirit's customer base. And Delta introduced a new cabin class, Basic Economy, in an effort to compete with Spirit.
People started to get very nervous. How could Spirit survive given the choice between a basic economy ticket on American, Delta, or United, or a Spirit ticket?
Yeah. Anyway, that's kind of the scenario, right? So let's look at the turning point or the downfall, if you will.
Could rebuild.
The breaking news: stay at home as the coronavirus pandemic spreads.
The airline industry taking a devastating hit.
Major airlines preparing to voluntarily.
Can we really peg it all on COVID? Can we?
Well, I mean, COVID was a major thing for them. I mean, how long were we not allowed to travel for?
About a year, let's call it.
About a year, right? Well, let's say, they missed out on the holiday thingies, etc., etc. COVID was major, but there are so many other industries that were also impacted by COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Yeah, it hurt all of them, but...
Everyone used COVID as a way of kind of justifying their figures.
Shut down.
Coming out of the pandemic, people were not really traveling for business in the same way they had before. And the bigger airlines started going after people going on vacation, flying for leisure, and those had always kind of been Spirit's best customers.
So no one was surprised when 2 years later, Frontier, another budget airline, announced a $2.9 billion cash and stock deal to buy Spirit.
The deal was announced, and everything kind of seemed to be going along. And then, kind of out of nowhere, in April, JetBlue swoops in with its own offer for Spirit.
So now we get into, JetBlue and all this type of stuff. But anyway, that's kind of the situation. So, Andrew, again, you've been on a roll on the last two episodes when it comes to research. You said You've put together a list of airlines that have gone bust in the last 20 years.
Yeah.
So let's have a look at this list. We've got WOW Airlines in Iceland collapsing.
Well, I've flown WOW, and it's a budget airline. Air Berlin, budget airline. Thomas Cook was
Cook
holidays.
was a bit heartbreaking, because they were quite good. But again, Jet Airways, Monarch. Oh yeah, Monarch Airlines.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
they were decent.
About those.
They were decent.
They were very good, weren't they?
Yeah.
Oh man, you've taken me back. Virgin Australia, Gold First. That's a lot of businesses.
Well, look at number 18. I mean, I wasn't even aware.
Oh yeah.
Alitalia. That's the national airline of Italy.
Really? Wow, that's crazy. I mean, and it just goes to show, right? So it's just mad. It's mad. And if you look at the stock value, what's this about, Andrew? The stock value.
Well, it was just the stock value that I wanted to show, and also the losses, etc. But and I'm sure you're going to come onto it. Is the stock value going down so much, yet certain people still getting, money. But we'll come on to that.
Yeah, I mean, if we look at these costs, right? Carry on, £49, right? So the ticket's $73. Oh, bargain! Can't wait.
Bargain, absolutely.
Now I'm paying $120 on his $50 upsell.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot to print off my tickets, or my mobile's run out of battery. $49. Now I'm on about $170.
Yeah.
Right. But I don't want to sit.
No, but you know what? It's not about want, Mincy. I'm lucky. I'm a short ass, right? And even I struggle, like on Ryanair or something. I've seen 6'3", 6'4" guys, trying to squeeze it, and they've got no option.
Yeah.
And I mean, okay, 53 extra leg room, fine.
So we can sort off this muffin.
Yeah.
Okay. Insurance, I tend to just go YOLO and say, you know what?
Yeah.
If I die, I die. Whatever. Yeah, we'll let the life insurance cover that, but we'll forget the insurance. The refundable ticket, we don't always go for that. I'm not going to lie to you.
No, I don't always go for that, but I put it in there because of the priority boarding was included in it as well.
But we're still talking about, you probably incur one of these costs. So you really are talking about $100. But if you went all board, we're talking $325. Yeah. Not to mention no customer service.
No,
not to mention you can't call anyone. No, it's madness, and you're right.
Well, don't forget. One of the things that's not on here as well is there's no lounge area. There's nothing, right?
Exactly.
Nothing.
Exactly. And now you've quite rightly said the same day on United Airlines, $304. So did you actually go on the website to get this done?
Yeah. This was properly done.
Crazy. You might as well just skip all the faff and just do that.
And also, you get to sit in a nice, comfortable lounge, free lunch, free dinner, free drinks, etc.
Absolutely mad.
Yeah. Crazy.
You raise a good point here. Just it just makes me.
The point of it, Mincy, was when I first heard about it, right? I, like everybody else, thought, bloody hell, I can go to Milan for 40 quid.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Well, that's what my friend always says. So I have a friend in Milan, and he's always like, "Come down, it's only 40 quid." Every single time I go on the website, it's not 40 quid.
No. I think you have to go like at 3 o'clock in the morning on a Wednesday. Make sure it's not a school holiday.
The first flight will be really cheap, and then the second,
and then the return flight is ridiculous. Yeah. But the idea is that, well, from what I understand, is they were trying to get the business traveller.
Yeah.
So it wasn't really the family thing; it was the business traveller. Hence, in those days, it was a carry-on, a proper carry-on, right? Yeah, that was, I think it was 10 or 12 kilos. You know, the ones that everybody drags along with them.
Yeah.
One of those, a laptop bag, or a rucksack that you could put up the top. That was it.
We would be so lucky if we get that as part of the flight.
That's how it started. And yes, you didn't get lunch, you didn't get a cup of tea or any of that stuff.
Well, they're 2 hour flights. They're 2 hour flights in general.
Yeah, 2 hour flights. Who cares, right? But that's how it started. And then all of a sudden, we've gone from that, which made absolute sense, right, to now, you can't. Well, I've heard there was one thing, I think it was on a comedy program, they were going to charge you to go to the toilet. They're going to charge you to use
Mate,
the toilet. And the man was saying, there's the Ryanair guy, the guy that owns Ryanair, was going, well, they're only on average 2-hour flights. You know, they should be able to hold it. And if they can't, then they pay because he wants to use the space for seats.
Well, this is how bad it's becoming, yeah? So apparently,
Ridiculous. Yeah.
They're actually considering standing on the plane.
Standing, yes. Yeah.
Let's see how real this is, because that's what I heard.
Well, no.
Michael O'Leary has proposed fitting out a Boeing, with 15 rows of seats and 10 rows standing.
Standing, yeah. So you won't probably remember this name, but there was a guy called Gerald Ratner, right? Years and years ago, and he owned a jewelry chain called Ratner's, right?
Yep.
And it was successful. It was the biggest jewelry chain in the UK. And one day he stood up and did a speech, basically saying how all of his stuff was crap, and the people that were buying the stuff were idiots, right? Lo and behold, within a year, went bust, right? I mean, this really successful chain out of the back of one speech. This Ryanair guy treats the customers with the same contempt, yeah? He literally says the customers are idiots. Oh, why can't they stand up? Why can't they hold there and not go to the toilet? You know, what do they expect? Blah, blah, blah. The way he talks, and he is absolutely hated. Absolutely hated.
Yeah. Well, I don't blame it. I mean, standing up, man. I mean, what are we coming to next? Like, it's a disaster. It's an absolute disaster, in my opinion, man.
Well, again, you look at that first video that we played, and compare it. And then you think, right, that they're doing all of this cost cutting, charging people. I mean, there was a graph, I don't know if I managed to show it to you or not, but it was the most of their money comes from the upsells.
Yeah, well,
by far.
Yeah. We're gonna get to that as well.
Yeah.
They call it auxiliary costs.
Auxiliary costs, right. And you think that you're doing all this, you're literally squeezing every penny out of that thingy, but you're right. At least give them a smile.
Yeah.
At least get the planes off on time, and then at least, you get off that plane, you think, you know what, it wasn't as cheap as I expected, but it was a decent experience. It's not even that. It's not even that.
You know what, Andrew, it's like, let's just say I pay £300 to get to, this is going to sound crazy. Let's just say I pay £300. That time that we went to Portugal for work.
Yeah.
And we spent about £300 a ticket. It was with TAP. Yeah. What a wonderful flight. And you know what? Funny enough, because you've paid £300, I know it's going to sound a bit counterintuitive, but you become a bit patient.
Yeah.
You rock up and you're like, this is going to be a nice flight. I've paid good money for it. You go in, you see the space, you sit down, you relax a little bit.
Comfortable.
You're comfortable. There was good space. And then you think to yourself, yeah, I'm all right. But there's something about that whole, I've just been shafted.
Yes.
I was told that something cost 50 quid and I've been shafted to the point where I'm now paying 200. You get there and you're like, it's low cost. Where it hasn't been low cost. In your mind, you're like, this is low cost. This is going to be a disaster. You get there and you're like, by no circumstances should you be standing in this aisle. And you're being treated like cattle. You're being treated like cattle. You're in a bad mood. Then the flight's delayed.
Yep.
Then the lady speaking, she's in a bad mood because she's getting, £10, £12 an hour.
That's the other thing is, in the old days, cabin crew were glamorous young ladies, They had wonderful uniforms, etc., etc. Now, the poor old Ryanair cabin crew, right, their cabin crew, they clean the toilets, mate.
It's mad.
They sweep up. Once you've got on, they sweep up and clean all of the crap that you've left behind.
So under what circumstances are they going to be happy to serve?
No.
So this is my point. You've just been upsold to near enough the same price as whatever a normal ticket costs.
Yeah.
You got the other woman that literally's got a face like a smacked ass, right? And I'm not blaming them. Like they're honestly like they're saints. I'm surprised they don't punch people. But you do see videos of them occasionally breaking down and having arguments with. But it's not. Again, it's back to this thing of this is not sustainable. This is not sustainable, and this is obviously what the data is showing us. But Andrew, we're gonna pivot to the next one, right? So last week, for those of you that didn't watch last week's episode or the last episode, we were talking about CEO compensation, and I
Yeah.
came in as Mr. Capitalist defending the CEO pay. And I was saying, well, you know, you never know what the performance is underneath the hood. You know, CEOs deserve their pay. And Andrew was like, no, how dare you? If you're not performing well, you deserve nothing other than just your base pay. And I was just like, no, there's always good reasons why a CEO get bonuses. Well, you know what? Andrew's obviously come and done his digging. And you know when the wound's open and you dig your finger into it? This is Andrew's version of that, right? So let's have a look at this horrendous airline. Spirit Airlines CEO gets $3.8 million bonus 1 week before the company files for bankruptcy.
Yeah.
Oh my word. Let me tell you this, Andrew. I'm going to find it very hard to justify this one. So I'm not even going to bother. But let's have a look at the data, right?
But before you do that, what upsets me about it is not the whole 3.9 blah blah blah. It's premeditated. There is no way.
Yeah, but
there's no way.
That's what we're getting into. So check this out, yeah. So again, 3.8 billion for a retention bonus. Why are we paying 3.8 million for a retention bonus for someone who has failed? That now I've changed my tone. Like, as in, no. You see, before with the last scenario that we're talking about a fella of which he had changed the strategy. It seems to be going in the right direction, but the results haven't been met yet. This is an absolute failure, by the way. By every means of like the definition. Why are we paying a retention fee to someone? That doesn't make any sense now.
I'm lost. I'll go back to my football analogy that I also used last week. Sam Allardyce manages Bolton. They go down. Oh, you know what? Let's give him some more money and keep him. But we've just gone down, boss. Doesn't matter. Let's keep him. That's exactly what's happening here.
It's mad. So yeah, they've filed for a Chapter 11 thingy. Now check this. Spirit's existing bondholders agreed to take 350 million ownership position in reorganised airline and erase 795 million pound of debt. They also agreed to provide £3 million in debt position in finance. So I had to actually find out what that is. Basically, it's a loan to save you from going down completely.
Yeah. So basically, if I read that correctly, erase means they've written off. Yeah. 795 million of debt. Right. So they've lost that, thrown that out the window, and thrown another 300 million loan to get them. And don't forget the 3 million they've kept to give to the Wolly who brought them there in this position.
Honestly, it really does. Honestly, it really does merit this.
What do you think I am, eh?
Yeah.
Some sort of Wolly.
It's mad. It is absolutely like this one right here, Andrew. I'm not gonna lie. You really, really found one to just make my hopes of these CEO bonuses go down the crap hole. Yeah. So, I mean, this set of transactions will materially strengthen the balance sheet. Well, of course. I mean, you're not telling us anything new. And a position of the future of Spirit Airlines, blah, 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 blah. Christie said. Christie being the CEO. Well, okay, thank you very much. Is that what we're paying you to say, right? Like, we paid you 3.8 million to make this crap hole of a statement. The tribal airline also came delisted from the New York Stock Exchange, which means less money being pumped into the stock already, so it's going to get less attention. And it also approved large retention bonuses for top executives.
Wow.
Other top executives. And it was issued on the 12th of November.
I know.
I mean, Andrew, let's look at the date of the article where they had been filed for. It was the 18th of November. So that's a mere 6 days before they came out to the press and filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. What a disgrace.
Well, the thing you've mentioned, they would not have been able to take that money after filing for bankruptcy, would they?
Incredible. So yeah, I mean, this is dirty. And you know what? I predict something on this. Do you remember those that interview in front of Congress that the CEO of I predict that this guy's going to be in front of that board.
I hope so.
This makes zero sense, Andrew. Zero sense. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm really struggling with the justification on this one. Like,
well, you should have seen my face when I found that. I thought, you know what? I was shocked, and then I was so happy that I found it. I sent it to you straight away.
Well, I know, yeah. I saw the time and everything, and I thought, oh God. I literally saw it, and I just rolled over in bed, and I was livid myself.
I thought, you know what? I'm going to send it to you, and you're going to go, oh, you're going to respond back, Andrew, that was like 3 years ago, or you know, that's a different Spirit Airlines. Or
No,
but it's not. It's
no,
not.
Andrew, it's unbelievable. It's incredible. Honestly, it's crazy. So yeah, I mean, you know, going back to the subject of auxiliary, you know, how they make money.
Ancillary pay.
Yeah, sorry, I can't even say it. Is it ancillary? Sorry.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's all about, you know, going beyond the sale itself. So upsells. So check bags, seat selection, meals, and anything you can think about, right? So basically, the big three US airlines all brought in north of 5.5 billion in auxiliary revenue in 2021. Imagine that.
They're all at it now, Mincy.
United
to be honest,
being
they're all at it.
the 10th highest extractor of auxiliary fees per passenger, with $52.5 per traveler in fees.
Yeah.
That is, and they're saying it's critical to profitability. So yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Ryanair is a great example of this phenomenon. For the year ending in March 2022, they brought in 2.5 billion euros in these type of fees. Now, Andrew, you know, again, watching this different podcasts, right? There's something that really, really stood out to me, and us being from the technology space.
Yeah.
So, Andrew, if I said to you, what's the point of having an application or a website, right? What do software developers and what do all of these companies work to do with mobile apps? What's the one thing that you'd say that they have mobile apps for?
Well, accessibility, automation, self-service.
Right, so efficiency, just making it easier for a customer to buy.
Yeah.
So what gets me is this, right? There is a theory in technology which is you're meant to reduce the number of clicks it takes to actually get to the purchase.
Yeah.
Andrew, again, I was buying my uncle a ticket from Ryanair the other day, and this is me not picking on Ryanair. This applies to a lot of them, like EasyJet, all that type of stuff. The amount of click screens that you have to go for until you can actually pay for the ticket, surely that's also part of the problem here. Because, Andrew, the more layers you put between you and like, honestly, Andrew, you're clicking away, right? Imagine you and I, we're thinking, you know what, sod it, we're going to go Turkey next week. Just, you know, lads days, whatever, boom. It's not a good idea. It's not a good idea. You know, we haven't really thought it through, but we want to be in. So you go on it. Right, let's select the flight. Date. Oh, okay, cool. Well, the flight's cheap on the way there. The flight is expensive there. And I go, Andrew, it's not £40 anymore, is it? Like it said on the website. No. You know, tickets from £40. It's now 110. Should we still do it? And you go, oh, go on, man, say live a little. Right, next step. Oh no, but it doesn't include the bag. We need a bag. We need a 10 kilo bag or a 5 kilo bag. Yeah. Oh, it's another 40 quid. Oh, it's 150. All right, then go on then.
Yeah.
Next, seat selection. Oh, we ain't got the seats available. And if we want the seats next to each other, we're gonna have to pay for the next row up the top. Yeah. Oh, but that's another score per person.
Yeah.
The point I'm trying to make is something that was meant to be so simple. Like going on a website and just a few clicks away and buying your airline has become a 6, 7, 8 click screen step. Surely that's counterproductive to business. Surely.
We've forgotten something.
Go on, Andrew.
It just occurred to me. The other thing that we don't incorporate into the cost, right, is you get a flight. I mean, this happened to me, right? Flight from Ryanair to Oslo, right? Got the flight. It was company paying, couldn't it? Landed in Oslo. Did I land in Oslo? Did I? Heck. I landed within the vicinity of Oslo, but some airport, and then I had to get either an hour and a half bus ride or a train that cost me another 25
What's the point? You're going to get to all these crappy airports as well. You got to go up to Stansted or Luton or something crazy like that.
Yeah.
Then you got to get your ass to probably the equivalent of Stansted and Luton, wherever the hell you're going, and then you're already down 40 quid Because that's the thing as well. When I bought my uncle's ticket to somewhere between Spain and France, I can't remember what the place is called, yeah, but it's right on the border, right?
San Sebastian.
Yes, thank you, something like that. Yeah. Anyway, good for you. Moral story is, bought the ticket 110. Then I had to get National Express tickets. National Express tickets, £20 there. £20 back, and guess who's at it? Guess who's at it again with the bloody fee? National Express is at it too. I was flabbergasted, mate. You used to be able to just rock up and shove it in the back. Bish bash bosh, done. Now you got to pay for the suitcase as well, now, mate.
Yeah.
Mate, this is getting crazy out here. Sorry, I'm so sorry for raising my voice, but I'm just
to the airport. What did they think you were going to go to the airport with nothing?
National Express is out. What's their excuse? Madness. Absolute madness. And guess what? You're going to turn up. Graham's going to be driving the bus. It's 1 a.m. in the morning because the flight's always at stupid a.m.
Yeah, of course
he's a grumpy git. Yeah? Like, at the very least, you know what? Hire an extra person. Pick up my bag from the floor. Honestly. Put it there with some good feng shui. Yeah? Because you know what? No, he's like, oh, just go and shove it in there. No, mate, I'm really fed up with this all, man.
Well,
I'm getting frustrated already.
Let me give you an example. So flying from Istanbul Airport to the centre of Istanbul, right? The guy that I was going with, he said, why are you getting on these cabs? They rip you off, blah, blah, blah. And I go, you know what you are? He said, I always get a coach back to this Istanbul, right? I went, you know what, I'll give it a go, right? So landed, went to the coach bit, right? Put my bag down. The guy gave me a little ticket with a bag number, right? They had a little seating area where they were serving tea while you were waiting. Yeah, Turkish tea. Then you get on the coach. They give you, it's tradition in Turkey. It's like an aftershave, but it's like a lemony thing. That, you know,
a hot towel.
Yeah, almost like that, but liquid.
Okay.
Yeah? And you sit there, and there's newspapers at the front if you want them. There's a toilet on the coach if you want it. And then you get to Istanbul, you come off, they give them the ticket, it gives you your luggage. Yeah. Mensi, it was about £5. The same thing would have cost me around 50 quid with a taxi.
Well, there you go.
And then the stress of, he's ripping me off. He's ripping me off.
Well, I'll tell you what, Andrew. You wait until the owner of that bus thing flies down here and meets the owner of National Express. That thing will be a thing of the past, mate. I'm telling you, mate.
I know.
Sorry.
The thing is that for me, it only works, and I know this is going to sound stupid. It only works, if it is fast forward 10 years, Andrew has retired to Spain or Portugal, and he's got a house there with loads of his clothes and everything.
Exactly.
And and I don't need to carry anything with me, and I just jump on a plane and go.
Exactly.
That's the only time it works.
Exactly. You're absolutely right. But yeah, I mean, look, Wizz Air's out again. 56% of. I think that should be banned. Do you know what? Just incorporate the costs. Raise your prices. I think all of this should be banned. And you know what? On that spirit, it's funny because the Guardian. I found an article by the Guardian in 2023, which perhaps was an early kind of warning sign that this was So it goes. Study finds that 90% of carriers charge at least one item, leading to questions about whether firms should be forced to be more transparent. Absolutely. Because, mate, do you know what? They've got all the flashy adverts. £40 for Malaga, £30 for this. And you get there and it's never the bloody case.
No.
False advertisement. What? Just because there's one ticket at like 3 a.m. with no baggage or nothing like that. Let's be honest. No one's going to Malaga with just their clothes on. Like, what joke? It's just a joke, man. So it says that the dramatic rise in charging for flight add-ons has resulted in almost 9 out of 10 airlines charging for at least one additional fee.
Absolutely. And the thing is that what makes me even more angry, right, is that the big carriers have started.
Yeah.
British Airways.
Yeah,
British Airways.
Yeah.
For seat selection.
stop copying these bad things. And this is the bit that really got my blood boiling. And this is what I was referencing earlier on. The controversial issue of add-ons was reignited last week when an elderly couple were charged £110 by Ryanair for new boarding passes after they mistakenly checked into the wrong leg of their flight. Wow. I mean, I don't know if you can see this, Andrew. Yeah,
I see it.
This is the poor couple, 79-year-old.
79.
One of them was disabled.
Wow, you're joking.
And he had checked in for a return flight instead of an outgoing
Instead of the outbound flight.
Oh, come off it, mate. Come off it, mate.
And was there...
Andrew, I don't even understand why you need to check in, to be fair. Honestly, present the passport, tick the box.
It's the one part of airline travel that was from the 70s or whatever, and then for some reason they've carried it on. Yeah, this check-in process. Yeah.
If there's anyone from the airline industry listening, please do correct us in the comments if there's some ignorance.
I don't get it.
Maybe there's some logistics that we're not taking into consideration in the background or whatever. But maybe this because they have a checklist and they need to. I don't know, but that doesn't make any sense either. Like, if you're not on the plane, you're not on the plane. Done. It's not like they wait for you if you've checked in and you don't turn up. Like, I don't understand this. I just don't understand this why it would cost this much money to just change that check-in.
So check-in used to be that you've arrived in the airport.
Okay.
Right? You've arrived at the airport, you've arrived at the counter. If you've got any hold luggage, you've put it in, you've got your check-in. That means you're at the airport.
Yes.
Right? So you're intending to get on the plane.
Right.
Right? So how come I can now check in a week before on my mobile phone? Right?
Right.
So I don't get the
this is my point, Andrew, right? If you check in, are they going to wait for you?
Oh.
Does it change the service?
No.
So what's the bloody point of checking in?
No.
I need to understand from a customer perspective why a customer would have to pay $110. What are you paying for? What is the benefit to the customers for checking in? The benefit is surely on the side of the airline. So why are they paying for it? In fact, what's the cost of them not checking in? Is my question as well. Because there's no cost if they don't turn up. So what's the cost if they do? They've already paid for the flight. What's the cost?
Here's your passport. And they go, all right, they've arrived. Tuck, tuck, tuck. It's literally 3 or 4 pushes
clicks
on a key.
4 clicks, yeah. It makes no sense. So let's see. No. Elderly couple have said that they were horrified as they were charged. Okay, so you have to register to read the article. We're not doing that. But yeah, man, that to me, Andrew, really, really, really got me, livid, man. And going back to how they make their money, it's just, it just goes to show that they really are just conning people to get their bottom lines up.
Not only are they conning people, but the likes of that Michael, whatever his name is at Ryanair, is reveling in it. He's reveling in it. Yeah, he's treating us like cattle, right? He's, we've gone from comfortable seats with a little bit of leg room, seats that recline, air staff. I'm not going to call them stewardesses anymore, but air staff that were well presented. Smiley, happy, you were. It
used to be a glamorous job. It used to be a glamorous job. Being a pilot used to be a well-paid job. They're not anymore, Andrew. They're not anymore. In fact, you know what? Whilst I'm at it, average salary of a what's this called? Low cost airline pilot. No, this can't be right.
Was it 80?
20 grand.
No, it's about 80.
Some regional or small airlines, first officers might start on as little as 20 grand per year within the first few days, with captains potentially earning 40 to 80k.
Yeah.
Mate,
so my neighbour next door is a pilot.
Yeah.
He started off in a BA, got made redundant during COVID. And then he went to work for Jet 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, mate, he tells me they land, right? He goes and gets the paperwork for the next flight. The crew cleans up or does whatever, and then they're off again within half an hour.
But right? what I like about what I like about Jet2 and Ice Lolly and these type of things is that you get a whole holiday package.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
And it is pretty seamless. It is a couple of clicks. I like Jet2. I like Ice Lolly. I like this type. That's why I kind of mourn the loss of Thomas Cook as well. Because you used to go on there and you used to buy a whole holiday package. And you know what? Fair play. It's quite low cost.
Jet2 includes your luggage, Nancy.
Yeah, that's my point. That's why I like Jet2.
Because it's a holiday, so they know
that's
you're going to
why I like
luggage.
Jet2. I like these airlines. I've got nothing wrong with them. But it's just interesting. So, key takeaways about this is obviously the deregulation of the US airline industry accelerated this, right? So somewhere between 1990 and 2020, which actually brings me to question whether this, whatever his name was actually a pioneer. Because if that growth was between 1990 and 2020, and he was in the 80s, surely he's a bit of an innovator, our guy.
Oh right, yeah. I mean, well, don't forget he focused on one thing only, London to New York.
Okay.
And his thing was battling against the monopoly. I mean, it was a monopoly.
Right.
And and he was like the first. It wasn't the first budget airline as we know it, but it was the first budget route, as it were, to New York. Budget airlines I mentioned earlier, they've been around since the 40s. It's only, I'm sure it was Spirit or there was another company.
Okay.
It was that did it. I mean, here you go. Look, Pacific Southwest Airlines began flights in 1949. Is considered the parent of low-cost airlines.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
So I mean, to not be so negative, right? The great thing is that the average price of a domestic round-up ticket in the US fell from 647 to 420 from 1990 to 2019, which is brilliant. It means you're democratizing air travel. People get to have experiences, and I'm all for that. So it's not all bad news, right? What we don't like is just the current execution of how to get things out.
I mean, don't get me wrong. The great part of it is it's made air travel more accessible to people that let's face it, they couldn't afford tickets that were being charged previously.
Yeah.
Right. However, that's come to a stage now where you're just almost an inconvenience for the flight to leave.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And
I think they would prefer us just to give them our bag and let it just go with our bags.
No, that or just don't turn up.
Or don't
just don't turn up. Just give us the money and don't turn up. But this is the bit that got me, and it's this bit. It says the widespread adoption of ticketless travel and internet distribution has been a boon for LLCs. It decreases the need for complex and expensive ticketing system used by legacy airlines. So you've made all of this reduction in costs, but you're still charging me £30, £60 to check in if I don't check in via the app. So you've made all these benefits to handle their complicated pricing structure. The emergence of the internet as a primary medium for booking tickets has dramatically increased the transparency of ticketing pricing. No, it hasn't.
Well, Lindsay, you know this better than me, right? Is, if you imagine when you were a young child and you wanted to go to Colombia, or when I was a young child and I wanted to go to Turkey, I used to have to go to a travel agent, right? Because you couldn't buy a ticket anywhere else like that, right?
Yeah.
You used to pay them and they used to give you a book, little thing, which had like a carbon paper on it or whatever. They wrote down your ticket, blah, blah. And then you went and then you got your boarding pass, which was individually printed.
Andrew, they would mail it to your house sometimes.
Exactly. So you could see why there was costs involved.
Yeah, of course.
Right? Yeah, because they were paying agency fees, all that paperwork. Back and forth,
so you've cut out all of that. You'd think benefit. No, we'll charge them if they don't click a couple of things on the app, even though they paid for a service. It's mad. Yeah. And that's why I wanted to kind of highlight that one. And then last but not least, sorry.
Go on.
Last but not least, so Andrew, we've been talking about, like, just to recap, we've gone through Netflix, subscription services. We've gone through the retail era where we started a certain way and then we've gone really low budget and transactional, and it seems like we're going back again to the original way, of doing some bricks and mortar or whatever it may be. It seems like everything's going in a cycle. And look, look where we are with this,
Here's
with this
another
subject, yeah? Are premium passengers the answer to budget airlines problems?
Yep.
So we're back to Pan Am again, aren't we? Right? So
Yep.
let's have a read at this. Delta and United have become the most profitable airlines by targeting premium customers while also winning back a significant share of travelers on tight budget. So other discount airlines are much better financially footed than Spirit, but they are lagging far behind the full service airlines when it comes to recovering from COVID-19. And what else are they saying? So what's affected? Low cost airlines grew. At the same time, the biggest airlines rolled out the refined no frills basic economy, which is what you were mentioning before. The budget airlines have also become less efficient at planes and people. As their growth slowed, they wound up with more than they needed. In 2019, Spirit Airlines were in the air an average of 12.3 hours every day. By this summer, the planes spent an average of two more hours each by sitting on the ground where they don't make money. So they're basically just lying around.
Yep.
And then Spirit's costs jumped 32% between 2019 and 2023.
Per mile.
Yeah, and basically seeking something a little better in the air. Low-cost airlines are responding by following the old adage that if you can't beat them, join them. That means going premium. No shit, Sherlock. Following the rapidly growing household wealth among upper middle income. That's not the reason. The reason is people are bloody fed up of this crap.
No. People are saying, I don't want to be treated like that anymore. Yeah.
Like
and
cattle.
I will pay the little bit extra and not be treated like an idiot.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a video that I forgot to put on there where a Spirit Airline woman is shouting at customers. I told you it seats from 5 to 20. Why are you getting up? Blah, blah, screaming at people.
Yeah.
Right? And people don't want that anymore. You can't. There's a Turkish saying, right?
Andrew, I'm looking forward to this.
I'm trying to translate it into English now.
When the kebab rolls, the money rolls, or what is it?
It's very much like the fool and his money or whatever it is. It's basically they're taking our money and then shaming us, embarrassing us, treating us like rubbish. It sounds better in Turkish. Next time, I'm not even going to say it in English. I'm just going to say it in Turkish.
That would be nice. But yeah, so they're
Paramızla rezil olduk. For all you Turkish viewers that we have out there.
The millions of Turkish viewers that we're going to have. And going back to the same theme, just another article. Delta Airlines is doubling down on premium customers after budget rival went bust. Right, so basically, if we look here, let's have a look. We're going to look at a chart. So we've got, so I think the red, if I'm not mistaken. No, okay. So we've got red as premium
cabins,
and main as just a normal one, right? Look at the uptick in premium. That people just give me the premium. Stop upselling me all this crap, and let's get this work over the line. Let's
one ticket. One service, that's it.
It just makes sense. So we're back to the old days, Andrew. People just want a standard, transparent experience. Yeah. I don't have to think about, did I buy this? Did I buy that? Am I going to get shafted with? And do you know, that's why I used to travel with EasyJet. I used to get like the kind of more expensive thing. But I think EasyJet started going down that direction.
Oh, they're in the same route.
But there was a time where EasyJet was like the bit more of a premium one versus Ryanair. Now it's just like, it's marginal difference between the two. But we're not all good. I don't know about you, Andrew, but I wouldn't be shocked if there's a male to female split on this as well. I may be clutching at straws here, Andrew, but I don't know about you, but I'm not very good at planning my travel. So my girlfriend will plan everything around the trip. Me, I'm packing my bags the night before, and I'm not very good. Like, I have to really think about not doing typos on my passport. That's the other thing. That's the thing. If you get your name wrong, changing that Oh Lord, that's another expense. So it's like I'm focusing on that. So for me, it's like if I could just pay, I will pay an extra £70 to eliminate all these questions and ensure that if I make a mistake, I can call back and change it. That if for whatever reason my app fails or whatever, or I haven't got a printout, I could just go to the desk and everything's fine. Like I will pay that premium. And I think a lot of men that are quite disorganized with this type of admin-y stuff will just rather pay for that premium. It's not even...
Absolutely.
Because the cost...
And do you know what? One other thing that as each time I think of it, my experience is it comes up. When you're over the weight limit,
for the suitcases, yeah.
I can't believe the way that some people, I mean, like, you're over by half a kilo. I'm sorry, sir. You're going to have to get rid of it. Or half a kilo.
Yeah. Like, in the premium ones, you're over a kilo. They just go, just put it in there. Whatever, yeah? No, on these, oh, mate, they'll tell you, take the stuff out. They'll make you wear what's in it. It's...
You're right. You know what? I think... it maybe is men, because I know my wife is packed at least a week before we're travelling. She bugged me till I've checked in online.
Well, Andrew, don't you remember that time we went to Prague and I almost missed my flight
because you came down in your pajamas?
I thought we were staying an extra day, and it was that day that we were leaving, and everyone was this was a company-wide kind of go-to-market thing. We went to Prague, all this. And I thought, oh yeah, this is the last day. I came down to the breakfast buffet in my pajamas. Everyone was suited and booted with it. And it's like, our managers just looked at me like, what the hell are you doing? And this is me using good words, right? And I just rushed up and I got into my suit, and men aren't really good at this. Or maybe it's just me, but I think that we're going to go back to the transparency.
We are. As we've discussed in all of the thing is, there seems to be a complete revolution of service, of expectation.
Because it's not sustainable, this price crunching and giving stuff for free and conning the customer. There's going to be a sting at the end. There's a saying a manager not so long ago, he used to say, wait for the sting in the tail. There's always a sting in the tail. If it's too good to be true, it probably is. Right, Andrew?
And our money is valuable. We work hard for it, and we want value for money. We don't want cheap. We want value. That's what we want.
Absolutely. But Andrew, grand finale. Finale. What are your final thoughts on this?
Well, my final thoughts were, you know what, this has taken me back. Certainly, reminded me of my youth, etc. I think that the air travel sector, which was glamorous, exotic, a treat, you were treated almost like royalty in some
like a hotel experience, like a premium hotel experience.
It
was almost an extension of your holiday or your trip, right?
And sometimes it was the best part of the holiday, because you'd end up staying in, some dive somewhere. Well, it was best part for me, because I'd end up having to spend 6 weeks in my grandfather's farm or whatever it was. But I mean, you sat down, you got offered drinks straight away, and then you got your food and blah 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 blah. To now just shifting cattle around. That's really what it is. And I know it's a horrible thing to say. Sometimes I look at some of these budget airlines, the one beginning with R, based in Ireland, and I think, you're a horrible man. You treat me horribly. I hope you go bust. And then I think, you know what? There's people that work there and families, and I don't want that to happen. But I just think I personally am fed up with it. I have taken the decision over the last couple of years to pay, and sometimes it's been 10, 20 quid more for all of my luggage to be checked in, my seat to be chosen. I can sit next to my wife. We don't have to pay £4.50 for Pringles this big. Et cetera, et cetera. So that's the way that I've decided, and I think it's going, like you said, it's going to go back in a circle, and the premium airlines, the ones that have been, looking after customers, are the ones that are going to survive, and these budget airlines, they're going to consolidate, amalgamate, join, whatever, or fall by the wayside. but I genuinely don't think there's going to be that many airlines as there were before, because there was one opening every week. I mean, you look at that list, I think I haven't even heard of half of them that have gone bust.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, my takeaway is this. I think there's a place for Ryanair, there's a place for EasyJet. I don't want to be snooty and be like, oh, just pay more. No, that there are people that generally need to do emergency travel, and they don't have the income disposable. All I ask for is just be transparent. Yeah. Be transparent, right? Yeah. Like, if anything, what they should do is they should have the full cost amalgamated in the first screen, and then you can minus elements.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like give me the full cost. So as someone who's trying to do emergency, give me all the itinerary of all the add-ons, and then get me to remove so that way I get the full visibility of what the price is going to be. What I don't like is the scale up, right? And then you waste my time, because then all of a sudden it's not affordable anymore.
I think you've hit on a genius idea there, because not only can you take away the stuff, you see the first full cost, and you can go, well, you know what, that's not bad, and buy it.
Yeah.
Or you can go, no, I'm taking that away, and all of a sudden you've got yourself a bargain.
Thank you. Like psychologically, it makes sense. Give me the full bang with an adjustable kind of a toggle system.
Yep.
And then I could see the barometer of the price going down, and whatever I make of that, I feel good about it.
Yeah.
Because it's my option to take it away. Don't add stuff to. And I know it's the same, but psychologically, it's like you've given me all the information I need, everything that you're suggesting I take, right?
Yeah.
And then I've fudged it by taking stuff off. Now the onus is on me. If I have a crap experience.
Yeah, that's right. And the other thing that they should also go back to doing is, when you say, I'd like a return cost of a return ticket to Colombia, don't make me buy the ticket going out and then buy the ticket going back. Just give me a return ticket.
Yeah, that's the other thing as well. Just let me set the dates like I do on my little barometer. Yeah. And then, I don't know, like, it just gets your hopes up. It just feels like it's that stepping stone towards of an expensive thing. It's just give me.
No, I love your idea.
Do you know what I mean? Just give me the itinerary and then say, look, if you want it cheaper, these dates are cheaper. Then I could switch the dates myself. But give me the full blast. Just hit me hard, and then let me soften the blow however I want to.
Return ticket to Cali in June is going to cost me £700. Okay, what's that made up of? Oh, actually, I don't need 2 luggage in the hull. I've only got 1. Yeah, take that off.
I don't think I like the food. I could probably do with sleeping for the 13 hours. I don't know why you'd want to.
I don't need to sit next to my uncle because he's going to snore all day. Take that off.
Yeah.
Hey, hang on a second. It's just gone down to 520 quid.
Yeah. Now I can own my regrets because I did that. The airline didn't do that.
You know what? I should have picked the aisle seat. Or, you know what? I was starving. I should have had the food.
It's on you. You haven't been shafted.
I think that's do you know what? We have solved a couple of big commercial things on this podcast. I think that's probably one of the best ones to date, that one.
Well, this is it. Like, I was watching... I mean, I'm not going to credit this guy because it's just coming to... Maybe this idea was born from this podcast. But it's a guy called Rory something. It's a marketing guy. Rory...
is he an older guy?
Yeah, it's this guy. Hold on.
Yeah, I've seen him. He's the one that says...
I like the way... Okay.
He's the one that says things like, never discount, when you're not selling and stuff like that.
Yeah, is it Rory Sutherland, maybe? No, wrong. Yeah, this guy here. You seen him before?
That's him. Yeah, that's him.
So he was talking about the Uber thing. And what he said was... Apparently they got the Uber concept from 007. So remember there's an episode where you can kind of track, not like a film where you could track where the car was on a little dashboard.
Yeah.
So they took that. And the fun thing about Uber is that they're not actually more efficient. The cab still takes as long as it usually would.
Oh, yeah.
But what puts you at ease is just knowing
it's coming.
when the cab is going to arrive.
Yeah.
Because it gives you a full sense of control.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I know when he's going to get here now. So all of a sudden you've forgotten about the fact that you're waiting and you get into just, oh, it's coming and you're really... That's the same kind of control concept that you're getting with what I'm saying, where you're saying, just give me the itinerary. Oh, it's expensive.
Yeah.
I'll be like, now I could take stuff off and then be like, oh, no, actually, I don't like that. I'll put it back on. And now I've got the whole thing.
Exactly.
But it's that not knowing element of what it's going to be at the end that really, really makes you feel shafted, even if you were going to pay that price in the first place.
It's going to take one of them to go, you know what, let's stop following the herd, right? Because at the moment, you're going exactly the opposite. You're going, oh, Milan, 40 quid. Right, oh, hang on. That's if I fly at 3 a.m. I can't make it at 3 a.m. I've got to, I can only make it, at 10. Oh, right, now it's gone up to 55. Oh, luggage, seating, check-in, food, coffee, blah, 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 blah. Oh, hang on, that's one way. I've now got to choose my return flight. No.
Like, imagine if they had a website where it's like most expensive, middle, cheapest on the return fee based on the dates you've given, and then at the bottom it's like suggestions that could make it be cheaper. It's like helpful. You could take this off. You could, and then you could toggle it off, and you'd be like, it almost becomes like a game, and you go, nah, I'm all right. Keep it a thingy. Do you know what? Funny enough, Avianca, which is the airline for Colombia, does that.
Yeah.
They give you 3 options.
Yeah.
And you just scale up. Now it does do the whole thing of like first flight and second flight, but other than that, it gives you the 3 set options, and you know what you're getting. Yeah. Nice and simple. Love it. Yeah. But that's my final thought, sir.
Good. Nice one. Enjoyable episode, actually.
Yeah, I think so too. I've come out a bit more educated. I don't think this is the last time we're going to hear about the airline industry. But yeah.
So the next time we do this episode, I will not be in this house. I'll be in a different house. And hopefully I'll have my own little section which will be brighter. And
Andrew's bought a studio for
I bought a studio. There happened to be a shed in the garden.
Now, last point. I'm highly disappointed with you, Andrew.
Why?
Because you haven't noticed.
I've noticed.
We've got pretty much the same haircut.
No, I've noticed. I wasn't going to say anything. I just think do you know what? That's a
if you've got nothing to say, Andrew's gone by the whole. If you've got nothing to say, don't say it.
No, exactly the opposite actually. Because I think it actually looks quite nice and it suits you. Makes you look younger. Yeah, it makes you look less stressed. I don't know how that thing.
Interesting.
Because before you used to keep playing with it and it's quite the opposite. It's not, if you haven't got anything to say.
Well, we're both turning into the same person. Like soon, that's a bit, soon I'll have this, and then I'll put some glasses on, and we're basically the same.
Oh my God, yeah, it'll be
this
like
this is it. But anyway,
before and after. Well, listen, thank you for doing this so late. I appreciate it. I know I had some things to do, and you had some things to do. But have we got anything planned for next week? Or
no, it's going to be an absolute mystery. We're going to let the news dictate that. So
fantastic.
In traditional fashion, we'll leave you with our outro music, which also happens
to be
our intro music. All right, thanks a lot, everyone. Take care.
Everyone.
Bye.